Welcome to CLIC Connect. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan, and today we have a returning guest, but she's got some big news. But before we bring her in, I would like to thank our production partners on this show, and that is the good folks at Radisson Hotels Americas and Chicago Title National Commercial Service Group, California. Without you and without them, we wouldn't have a show. So what do you call the good folks over at Radisson or Chicago Title? Let them know that producer Danny and I sent you over there. They'd love to hear from you. So thank you both for being part of this production. Okay, with that, let's bring out our first guest. You know her. She is Andrea Depew, director at IIG Design, Interior Image Group. So, Andrea, welcome back to CLIC Connect. How are you?
Hey there. It's great to be back. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, big news. You're now with Interior Image Group.
That's right.
So, let's tell the audience a little bit about IIG before we jump into the rest of the questions.
Sure. Yeah. IIG, the firm has been around for 19 years, based in Crown Point, Indiana, which is about 50 miles outside of Chicago. And we also have offices in Fort Lauderdale and Orlando. And we specialize in interior design as well as procurement. And we also do some project management and some branding.
Wow. That's quite a portfolio right there of services. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You got 3 offices in the United States now. So are you still covering the entire country?
I am. Yep. Still based in Arizona, working from home as I have for 7 years now and traveling when need be. So never afraid to get on a plane.
There you go. Hey, you're the road warrior, just like the rest of us. So
that's what we do.
Very good. So let's talk about design. It takes time for new projects to come together. What are you seeing out there? I mean, are you getting a lot of PIPs? Are you getting a lot of new construction? Combination of all of the above? What are you seeing? What's the timing looking like to initial consulting to sign contract and moving on?
You know, I got to tell you, we are writing a lot of proposals right now. The office is going crazy. So that's an awesome sign that the industry is coming back. I think a lot of people are starting to travel a lot more, and owners and developers are tackling some of those projects that they've had to put off over the last couple of years. We're seeing things all across the board, new development, a lot of conversions, change of ownership PIPs. I wouldn't say as many of the PIPs that are, sort of your standard renovations as much aren't coming quite yet, but I do think the brands are going to start enforcing those, and we're going to get really busy really fast.
I agree with you. I think that's it. And I think the, change of ownership PIPs, we had record sales last year. Okay. Believe it or not, we had a record amount of sales across the country and in California. So I would imagine that's probably, the number one item on the whiteboard for everybody to work on. So what region of the country are you starting to see more ownership change PIPs on than, in the past, couple of months that you've been on board?
They're kind of all over. Seeing them, getting things out of Florida, in the Carolinas, a little bit in California.
Good.
To be
good.
I know. Yeah. So working on those for sure. Really all across the board. I'm not really seeing one geographical area so much. I would say, your major metropolitan areas like Chicago, not so much yet. Up in the Northwest, not a lot quite yet, but getting there.
So, okay, dealing with timelines again, not everybody's back in their offices. Okay. Marriott's in the process of moving, to a new building. So they really don't have a lot of their team back in the old one. Everybody's working remotely. What are these timelines like from brand approval to procurement, and are lead times on the procurement side even longer now because of shipping issues and various other things? What's happening with those two in particular?
I'm not not seeing a lot of time increase from, signing on a project to design and taking it through. I think a lot of people have grown very used to working remotely, and there's so much that we can do electronically, through programs like Bluebeam and so forth, as far as coordination with other consultants, and people are traveling more, when need be. So not seeing big delays with that. There are still a lot of delays and lead times on some of the products, and definitely, with the shipping, I mean, you're talking ships are on the water 40 to 65 days before they come into port. There's a big issue with, bidding things. You can really only bid them 30 to 60 days out because pricing won't be guaranteed. We're seeing a little drop in the container prices, but some of them are still running close to $20,000, which is major. It's a huge increase from before, but we are seeing as low as 15 sometimes too.
Now, on the shipping, and I don't know this, but are you seeing some of the ships being diverted down to Mexico or up to Canada and then being trucked into the United States?
Yeah, and
Is
over
that
to
part
Florida
of the programming? In Florida too?
too. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Especially if you've got stuff coming to the West Coast, that's a huge problem.
It is.
Going into Florida and then shipping it on a truck across country.
It is, yeah. So when you get into the whole logistics issue and the freight and where you're ordering from, it's really important to figure out what makes the most sense, because sometimes timing isn't important. If you have the time and you can plan and you can get everything over in warehouse, that's the best. If you're short on time, what's the cost of not being able to open on time? Sometimes it makes more sense to expedite things or use local vendors. So our team is really taking a look at all of that when it comes to each and every project.
Perfect. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Let's, what are some of the projects that IIG has recently completed, and what projects are you really excited about that are still in the mix, that they've started and they're nearing their completion dates?
Gosh, seems like we have a lot that we're working on right now. A really cool one is the Sessions Hotel, which is a tribute portfolio hotel. That's in Bristol, Virginia. Yeah. Another really cool one is called Weston, Maine. That is a tapestry, and it's an old firehouse conversion.
Wow.
So that really gave us quite an opportunity to tell a story in the design. And that's something that the firm really enjoys doing, the designers, because stories are all about the details, and so those little details that you can incorporate into the design are what make a lasting impression on guests. See what else are we working on? A Shepherd Hotel in Clemson, which is an independent hotel. A Cambria in Michigan, a Delta Resort in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Wow. Okay.
And then a really cool project that we're doing right now is actually something that really was so awesome during COVID. We participated in a competition among 6 other firms and one with Caesars Entertainment for Atlantic City. So we are in the process of doing over 3,000 guest rooms.
Really?
Yeah. And so that, for both Caesars Entertainment as well as Harrah's. So that was
congratulations. Yeah, beat out 5 other firms. Yeah, that's quite a feather in your cap. Now, I'm going to be in Atlantic City later this year. Glenn Hausman and I are going to be doing a Friday night audit from Atlantic City. So we may have to do the roving reporter and show up and see if we can see a room while we're over there.
That would be great. Yeah, I'll have to arrange that for sure.
Absolutely. That would be a lot of fun. So how about trends? Design firm, cutting edge, you're doing boutiques, you're doing branded, you're doing a plethora of other, property types. So what's the latest design trend that you're seeing out there that you like?
That's a great question. I think really it's kind of more of the same of when you go to a city, you want to feel like you're in that city, or you want to, for example, Weston, Maine, the firehouse that we're converting into a hotel, being able to see those little details and know that, you're in a unique space that you enjoy and will always remember. Of course, getting those, TripAdvisor reviews are awesome for owners. Get those raving reviews that people want to come back, and of course, good reports back to the brands when they're branded properties. I think it, again, big trends, and not really necessarily a trend, is new. People like new. There's a lot of new product coming in to the market, and so it's extremely important to get those renovations done too, because new looks clean or cleaner, no matter how hard you scrub the tile. So,
and it's funny. You and I have had this conversation off camera for a year now. That if you're not renovating your hotel during this pandemic, there's so much new product coming online, especially in California. You look at, I think there's another 100,000 keys coming online in Los Angeles. Okay, if you're not shiny and new, you're not going to be able to compete against those. And funds are out there. You can go back to your lender if you've been working with them through the pandemic and get that capital to get that renovation done. So
absolutely,
we'll be talking more about that at CLIC 5. So, but no, I think that's great. One last question, then we're going to go into the lightning round. Are there any new brand requirements that have come out since COVID started to date? Are you seeing a softening in any areas? Are you seeing where they're stepping up and they're really, adding more on top of the PIP since all this started, or is it still pretty much business as usual?
It's pretty much business as usual. The brands are being a little bit, at least we're finding, or what I'm hearing from owners, a little bit more lenient about maybe if it is a change of ownership PIP, delaying some of it, just, in good faith. Definitely the brands on the design side, several of them went through during COVID, went through the process of making sure that the firms that are approved are approved. And we had to go through some, approval processes again, just to make sure that we're capable and we understand the brand standards and know how to work with them the best. So that was definitely something that I think they took the time to do. And I think it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
All positive notes. All right, my friend. Producer Danny's putting 2 minutes on the clock.
Okay.
Word association. So it's up to you to get it done in less than 2 minutes. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Labor.
Work.
Team.
Positive.
Hotel development.
Booming.
Amenities.
Shampoo.
Road warrior.
Travel.
Ground up or repositioning.
Repositioning.
Leisure.
Still happening.
There you go. I think it's a great new category. Favorite airport.
Phoenix.
Tequila or whiskey?
Whiskey. I know I don't agree with you.
Yeah. No, I don't. I can't drink whiskey. It's coming from an Irishman. I'm sorry. Favorite hotel or resort?
Turtle Bay Resort in Oahu.
Nice. Drive or fly?
Fly.
Perfect. Hey, you did that with 52 seconds left on the clock. Congratulations. Very nice. So let's talk about bleisure some more. I think that's a great category that Smith Travel Research and others ought to incorporate into their reporting. I think you're seeing more Fortune 500 companies and privately held companies all getting on board with that, because I don't think people want to be out on the road as much as they used to be just for a business trip. And if you can incorporate something and bring a family member or your family with you, if you've got smaller children and it's not, a missing school type scenario, I think it's a great revenue stream. And we certainly don't have group travel and business travel back to where we need it. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I actually ran into this personally because your conference, CLIC, coming up here in March, is the same week of my daughter's spring break. So I thought, do I bring them with me? I decided not to. But I contemplated it hardcore. I just figured the easy way out would be just to leave them at home. But just knowing they had the time off and I'm going to a great place and, could incorporate that. But I just thought I'd be too busy, be kind of selfish. But
well, you know how to work a room. So yeah, I think, you're going to be way too busy. And I know, being a single parent, you get the case of the guilt because you haven't been able to spend time with them. And that's why I never took anybody to conferences, the exact same reason. But there again now, different world.
Well, and you know me, I'm not the one that leaves, a conference or a cocktail hour early. I'm usually one of the late stairs. So having them back at the room or something.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Andrea, we're out of time. How can people get a hold of you?
I'd love for people to get a hold of me. Yeah, you can reach me on my cell phone, 480-828-2980. Email is andrea@iigdesign.com. Check out our website, iigdesign.com as well. Check out the portfolio. Reach out. You can hit me up on LinkedIn, cell phone. I text, call, whatever sounds good to you. Love to hear from you.
Andrea, thank you for joining us again on CLIC Connect. It means the world to me. Congratulations on the new job with IIG. I know you're going to hit it out of the park with them. And Andrea and I have worked in the past, full disclosure. So I highly recommend that you give her a call and see what her and her team can do for you on your hotel project. So, Andrea, thank you.
And thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I always have a blast with you. And thanks for all that you do and, sharing all the news and updates of the industry. We need you, and you're the best.
Thank you. Well, remember me on your press releases. We'll get them out there for you.
That's right. Okay.
Take care. Thank you, our audience. But before we leave, I do want to thank our production partners, Radisson Hotel Groups of the Americas and Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group based right here in California. Please give them a call. If you're looking to start a dialogue for another brand, talk to our friends at Radisson. You need help getting your hotel transactions closed on time. Give our friends over at Chicago Title National Commercial Services Group a call. Let them know that producer Danny and I sent you. And I would be remiss if I did not mention, we've got the 5th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference on March 10th, 2022 at the JW Marriott, the Anaheim Resort, the new crown jewel. But don't tell anybody. They're in the running for our first annual deal of the year. So let's see what happens. Join us. You can register at CLIconference.com. We're bringing you the thought leaders of the industry. We're talking about hotels. We're talking about development. We're talking about California. Sometimes we're talking about the rest of the nation as well. So thank you for joining us. And as I'm fond of saying, be kind. Share your knowledge. Now go be amazing.